I wonder if getting fucked in the ass feels like taking a really satisfying dump. Hopefully I'll never find out. What's going on, everybody? It's Toronto Guy here. It is Wednesday, April the 12th, 2017, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all, and I'm going to read an article, and the link's going to be in the description. Because apparently us men aren't doing enough for feminism. Well, luckily, we have Buzzfeed, the most credible source for everything, not only in the internet, but the world in general. They are right up there, as far as credibility goes, with tweeting a hate crime with no pictures or video. So link in the description. So dudes, pay attention. I'm talking to you, Sandman, Warcorp 666, Grizzly MGTOW, probably the biggest offender of all. Listen and pay attention. From April 5th, 2017, 11 simple things men can do for feminism. Pay attention, bookmark this article, and stop being an asshole. This was written by Beatriz Serrano. Beatriz spelt with a Z because she's fucking hip. Number 1, don't be an activist in the streets and a sexist in the sheets. Okay, so you read King Kong Theory by Virginia somebody and a bunch of Facebook statuses about feminism, and you're now convinced that feminism is your thing. Stop the car. The first thing you have to do is check yourself and figure out what kinds of macho behavior you're spreading with women around you. Are you one of those guys who says that they help at home? To talk to your partner and start doing 50% of the house chores? Do you still give your dirty laundry to your mom because it's what she's always done? Dude, please. Are you a father? Congratulations. Do you take on 50% of the childcare responsibilities? Better check that too. When a woman gets angry, do you assume it's either because she's on her period or because she needs to get laid? Go back to square one. And hey, do you think you emotionally support your girlfriend/wife as much as she supports you? Houses can't be built starting with the roof. There always has to be a foundation upon which to build. And there's nothing worse than being an activist in the streets and a sexist in the sheets. So that's right, men. Stop being assholes. And if anybody knows how to build houses, literally, it's women, right? I mean, all those women we see on those construction sites. Number 2, listen. That's right, listen. One of the main issues of sexism is that we have culturally silenced women and given men full control of the microphone for far too long. The first step to supporting feminism is to listen to what women have to say about their own oppression. So get comfortable and listen up. That's right, Sandman, Grizzly MGTOW, Warcorp 666, MGTOW 101, all you fucking clowns. Listen for once. Bloody hell. I mean, what is more soothing than listening to a feminist talk about how she's just as oppressed in the Western world as the women in like those loser countries way out east, like Saudi Arabia. So listen. Which brings us to number 3. Shut up. Would you tell an oncologist your opinions about cancer? It's also not necessary for you to heroically decide to play the role of devil's advocate in a subject that does not, what a coincidence, affect you in the slightest. And please don't interrupt us every 5 seconds to try to distinguish yourself from other men. Yes, we already know that not all men are like that, but if you care more about proving that you're not like those other men than you do about truly listening to and understanding our thoughts and opinions on the matter, well then, you're not much different from the rest anyway. That's right, guys. I mean, when you hear a child spout off all that nonsense about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and stuff, you don't interrupt them with facts, do you? No, you let them believe. You let them live in the fairy tale world. So please stop hitting women and feminists with facts. Let them spout off their Santa Claus world stuff. All right? It's not going to hurt. Bloody hell. Number 4, face your buddies. Right, so you've listened to a lot of women. You've begun to understand what this is all about. You've realized that everything's shit, and now you have some suggestions to make about what women should do or say in certain situations. Nope, wrong. Now's the time to do the actual dirty work. Face your colleagues. Yeah, that guy who constantly shares pics of naked girls in your group chat. The one who calls any woman above a size 4 fat. The one who makes a woman feel uncomfortable at the bar when she's clearly having a good time with her friends. The one who says his boss just needs to be fucked. Or the ones who make small, haha, very offensive hee jokes, ha freaking ha, about assaulting women. Nope. So that's right, dudes. I mean, I personally don't know any dudes who do any of this, but I mean, surely it's not just a typical stereotype, right? I mean, surely there are like grown men out there who share naked pictures of girls with their male friends, right? I mean, I don't, and none of my male friends do with me, but surely they exist, right? I mean, it's not just a stereotype. Bloody hell. Number 5, use your privilege, Sandman, MGTOW 101, and everybody else, for the right cause. Unfortunately, every time a woman points out a sexist attitude, like the fact that your mom is always the one in charge of preparing everything for a family meal, she's considered to be exaggerating. What are you saying, woman? Or even rude. You're so rigid. What if you used your privilege for something more positive, like pointing out these sexist attitudes to other men and getting on the side of the woman? Yeah. I mean, I'm still waiting for my privilege check in the mail. But yeah. Sandman. Grizzly MGTOW. Use your privilege for good, not evil. Fuck's sakes. Number 6. Stop judging women. Every time you have a strong opinion about a woman, check it by asking yourself if the opinion is rooted in sexist ideas that have been perpetuated throughout your education. In general, don't comment on her appearance, even if you think it's a good comment. Women suffer an incredible amount of social pressure about our bodies. When we, women, deviate from the mold that society determines, we tend to receive harsh criticism. If a woman doesn't want to have children, she's selfish and has no soul. If she wants a relationship, she's old-fashioned. But if she wants the opposite, she's a slut. Do not perpetuate this system. Exactly, dudes. You know, don't do what feminists do and call any woman who wants to have kids and be a housewife old-fashioned. That's feminist's job. You're supposed to help feminists by not doing that and not thinking about their looks like women think about their looks. Number 7, whenever a woman expresses an opinion that makes you feel uncomfortable, try to understand why it makes you feel that way instead of getting all defensive or belittling her, Sandman. We all have sexist attitudes. They're just a product of the education that we've received and the societies within which we grew up. Checking oneself for these attitudes is a constant task within feminism. But hey, maybe if you're finding it challenging or difficult, it's because you're learning. Yeah. Number 7, man. That was number 7. Yeah. Take note. Number 8. Don't undervalue women's problems or say that we're exaggerating. No matter how hard you try to put yourself in our place, you'll never be able to experience what women experience on a daily basis. For that reason, don't belittle our problems. If a woman complains to you about the problem of street harassment, don't say it's a compliment. To you, these issues are the exception, but to us, they're the norm. Exactly. Right? Because, you know, if we were to have true equality, guys, we have to be offended at things. We have to come off of our high horses and lower our things a bit, and if women catcall us in the street, we have to, like, yeah, offended. Number 9, care for your masculinity and the issues caused by the toxic societal model of masculinity. Look, just between us, I'm not into feminism so that men can feel free to cry or talk about their feelings. To clarify, I think it sucks that we live under a system that forces men to be strong, manly, and powerful, and that tells us that a sensitive man is weak. But honestly, I'm more worried about the femicides, sexist violence, rapes, the salary gap, abortion, problems caused by the contraceptive pill, work harassment, and having to constantly look behind my back when I walk home in the dark late at night. It's up to you as men to break down the stereotypes that society has imposed upon your masculinity. It's not my job, it's yours. Enjoy. Yeah, guys. Break down the stereotypes that exist in our world. You know, I mean, not like how, the feminist stuff. Number 10, there's 11 of them. I hope you're all taking notes and saving this as your bookmark. You should all make this your fucking homepage, man. Sandman, MGTOW 101, all you others. Number 10. Yield your space and understand that you're not the center of the universe. We women are heard less than men. Unless we become a desired object, we also tend to become invisible. Feminism seeks equality because we live in an unequal society. I'm sorry to tell you this, but if you haven't realized, but in order to reach a true egalitarian society, a determined group needs to lose power so that the other group gains. It's simple, but it's the most difficult thing. Nobody likes to lose their privilege. That's why you have to yield your space and respect women's space. Makes sense to me. Makes perfect sense. I mean, if any group needs to lose some of their power and privilege, it's men, right? I mean, look at all of the women who have to pay child support because we live in a society that favors the man. All these single dads running around. What the fuck? And finally, number 11. And remember, your feminist friend isn't Google. There's a common practice in the wonderful world of the new ally, which is to constantly support your feminist friend by talking with them about feminist subjects. It's an interesting topic of conversation, don't get me wrong, and seeing you take an interest in feminism is great. But seriously, if you don't understand why it's not called egalitarianism, go to Google. If you want to understand feminist waves, go to Google. If you don't understand why a compliment can be considered offensive, you can also search it on Google. Seriously, constantly asking a feminist woman all your many questions about feminism is a bit like the new "iron my shirt, I'm feeling lazy. Thanks and have a nice trip." And this was translated from Spanish, and that's the end of the article. And exactly, okay? In regards to number 11 here, how she's all like, if you don't understand why why feminism is not called egalitarianism, go to Google. I mean, sure, in number 10, she said that in order to reach a true egalitarian society, men needs to lose power, but feminism is not about egalitarianism. Makes sense to me. Sandman, Grizzly MGTOW, War Corpse 666, MGTOW 101, all you fucking guys, like, stop being mean to these women. Start being an asset to feminism. All right? Because you're failing. And I got a 12th one. Number 12 of how men can help feminists or feminism. Actually, no, I got one. I got one of how, of how women can help feminism. And that is, fuck feminism. This has been Toronto Guy. Stupid fucking article.